very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am quite struck by the number of crossing lines involved with the contract for Navigator Limited to provide crisis management advice during the 2013 floods. Now, friendships and support are important in our lives, Mr. Speaker, but politics, friendship, and special deals spending taxpayer money should stay far apart. To the Minister of Municipal Affairs, how did the government sole source a $250,000 contract without an open competition to a company filled with friends, Tory insiders and supporters' money? Isn't sole sourcing over $75,000?
Honourable Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Well, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. And I believe I essentially answered this question yesterday. There were four sole source contracts issued in the moment of the crisis that we all went through last summer. This was an unprecedented circumstance, and in that circumstance, the Government of Alberta, my predecessor in this government, made the choice to reach out to people who could help buttress the capacities of the Government of Alberta. That was Tervita, that was Navigator, that was Norex, that was Stantec. These are capacities that helped ensure that Albertans were safe and looked after in the wake of the floods.
First supplemental.
Well, thanks. Back to the same minister. Is it standard operating procedure for this government or this ministry to sign contracts like Navigator 3 months after the work has begun?
Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, clearly I can't speak to specific details with respect to when it was signed, but clearly people were engaged, and this is none of this. The floods last summer were not normal operating procedure for anybody in Alberta. The government responded to meet the needs of Albertans, to ensure that Albertans were safe, that they knew what was going on, that they had access to information, and that they could take steps to protect themselves.
Final supplemental.
Now, Minister, that's why you have procedures, so that everything can be treated the same. So back to the same minister. What was the plan? How was the government going to hold this particular company, Navigator, accountable for anything that went wrong, like a privacy breach or a missed deadline, or even hold them to the terms of the contract when the contract wasn't signed until 3 months later?
Good question. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this particular contractor enhanced the work of the Public Affairs Bureau. They provided support in terms of strategic communications advice, research on flood recovery, as well as a communication strategy, so that Albertans could have trust in the public institutions of this province at a time of great crisis. And I can tell you, as Albertans know, the Government of Alberta responded in a very strong way to look after Albertans.